Good morning, family. This is Ricky, and welcome to Hope for Today. We were with some friends the other night, and we were talking about those embarrassing moments when we were kids. And there's nothing worse than being a kid, being embarrassed or shamed around other kids. And we were just kind of coming up with all these stories, and I was brought back to the fifth grade. Now, back when I was in elementary, they would always do these health examinations. Y'all remember this, where they would put the wooden stick on your tongue and say ah with the nurse, and they would check your ears, and they'd check hair for lice, and they didn't check my hair because it's an afro, it's the lice. Yeah. Anyways, they would do all these health examinations, and one of the things they did was put you on the scale and weigh you. And I'm a big boy now, but I was a big boy then too. And it was always kind of like an embarrassing thing, right? I was the chubby kid. I still am, but I don't care no more. But back in the fifth grade, I really cared. And I remember there was a gal, I'll just call her Mary. We were the big kids in fifth grade. And, the kids started saying, oh, I can't wait to see what Ricky weighs. I can't wait to see what Mary weighs. I'll never forget that little moment of having to step on the scale and just feeling that weight. And that's what I want to talk to you about today is, what do you do with shame? What do you do with shame? The thing I think about shame is that shame is pervasive. Translation, shame affects every last one of us. No one is shame proof. Nobody is shame proof. Shame does not care about your financial status. Shame does not care about your skin color. Shame does not care about your political party. Shame does not care about the kind of house you live in. Shame doesn't care about how many degrees you have. I got shame, you got shame, all of God's children got shame. So my question to you is, what is going on in life right now that you kind of feel embarrassed about or shamed about? For some of us is a wayward child that is not meeting their potential. We feel some pity and some shame about that. For some of us is our careers have not eclipsed those levels we thought they would by now. For some of us, we are single and always thought we would be married. Some of us are married and always thought we would be single. Some of us have shame because of the position and title we have, or the position and title we do not have. Some of us have shame over the kind of house we live in. Shame is everywhere, but one of the victories of Christ and being raised from the tomb is that you don't have to carry any more shame. One of the sweetnesses, one of the kindest kisses God has given us is salvation, is that you don't have to be ashamed. The big one that affects all of us, though, is the shame of the past, right? Like, some of you is recent past, some of you is 10 years ago, some of you is 20 years ago. And even though up here you are forgiven and cleansed, down here you continue to experience, right, that echo chamber of Satan or people telling you that you ain't good enough, you ain't smart enough, and doggone it, people don't like you. But I've come to announce victory in Jesus, that because your faith is in him, he takes away your shame. And Paul celebrated this in Romans chapter 10 and verse 11. He said to us, for the scripture says, everyone who believes in him will not be put to shame. Everybody who believes in Jesus who will not be put to shame. Now you're thinking, well, Rick, I already knew that. You know it, but you don't practice it. That's the problem. When it comes to our shame, we put it through our echo chamber instead of the echo chamber of the gospel. And last time I checked, if you're going to overcome shame, it is not a solo sport. You're going to need a teammate. Jesus is his name, and God told me to tell you to high five him when it comes to your battles with shame. Well, Ricky, what does that look like? Well, I think what ends up happening is that you got to understand that shame is a sound bite in my mind. And Satan has found a replay button to say, look at you, you didn't do that. Look at this, you heavy. Look at this, your money ain't right. Look at this, your marriage is a shambles. Look at what happened in your past. And there's just a sound bite going on. Well, here's the way I chase away a sound bite. I replace the sound bite with a soundtrack. Who am I talking to today? And the soundtrack says that I don't have to put my shame in what I did. I can put my faith in what God said. And what God said is that the moment I put my trust and faith in Him, I'm washed and cleansed of anything else that would encumber me in my journey. And so the whole idea is for you to get in the Word and rehearse the gospel and make the soundtrack of the truth louder than the sound bite of the shame. And Paul seems to imply here that when I do that, and when I let God into those things that I feel embarrassed about, I'll find some renewal and some hope and some worth and some integrity to keep on keeping on. Don't let shame stop you, because God has defeated your shame. That's hope for today. I'll see you next time.